This is Boxing Tickets NI. We're here at the official announcement of obviously a Nations Fight Night on the 1st of February. The Ulster Hall today by Charge the Dream. McDonagh, I was just saying to you there before we started, it feels like a long time since we sort of done your announcement. Obviously, as turning pro, you sort of had the initial fight, yet it was then pushed back.
Yeah.
You've obviously then switched from D to obviously Ryan Burnett.
Yeah.
Like, a lot's changed for you in probably a short space of time.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I had a lot of changes between my whole team. Like, I got on new nutritionist, new coach, and everything. So, kind of went through this period where I just needed a wee bit of a change. Nothing wrong with people who I had before, but for me, it just felt it was time to change and see where I can go with it.
And you've obviously had your professional debut, obviously in Glasgow, obviously since then as well. How did it obviously feel now? Like, you can obviously now call yourself a professional boxer because you've actually fought. I believe were you down in the fight as well? Like, the strange thing about boxing, it says you were down, but it scored the fight 40-37. Obviously, I haven't got to see the fight.
So what happened was in the third round, my opponent was very smart, and he had his leg behind my leg, and he clipped the top of my head, and I obviously fell, and it was counted as a knockdown. I was winning the round, so I think it was scored a 10-10 round, and then I put my opponent down in the fourth round, and the referee counted as a slip. So it was a bit of a crazy debut, you know. I still got the win. I still still got the 4 rounds in, and I was happy with my performance. But just that happened, and it's just a wee bit shit. But it happens, though.
It's eventful, obviously. I guess they always say you never forget your professional debut. Like, you've got no reason to forget what everything went on in the fight.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, especially all what happened. You know, especially me falling and counted as a knockdown, and me dropping him not being counted as a knockdown. It's definitely one to remember. So it will be. But yeah.
And like, have you fought in Ulster Hall before as an amateur, or is this going to be your first time fighting as in Ulster Hall itself?
This is my first time fighting Ulster Hall. I remember actually the very first time me and my dad went and watched professional boxing. It was in Ulster Hall about 5-6 years ago, and here I am now fighting as a professional.
I'm trying to think back cards, maybe thinking was that the one Ryan Burnett maybe headlined?
No, I believe who was headlining it. Remember Stephen Ward was on it.
Yes,
he was on. I remember seeing him.
That was Stephen Ward and Conroy as the war. So Tyrone McKenna
versus
the headline.
Yes, that was the one I was at. So it's crazy to actually think about watching that then. I'm thinking here 5-6 years later, I'm fighting as a professional boxer on the Ulster Hall. So it's definitely it's crazy to think, but it's a dream come true. So it is.
And like, for obviously your new coach, obviously Ryan Burnett, who's a former unified world champion. Like, it's crazy to think it. Obviously, his first fight, obviously as a pro coach, was obviously in the SSE Arena where he won his 2 world titles, and now he's coming back to the Ulster Hall where he had his last professional fight with you. So Ryan's further going through the emotions here of venues he's been used to in the past.
Definitely, you know, because he's made his debut coaching with me, so he did both of us made our debuts on the same night, basically. Now, as you said, his last fight was in Ulster Hall, and here he is coming back to Ulster Hall. So, no, it's great to have Ryan because he's been there at the highest level and he knows the boxing game inside out. To get the knowledge from Ryan, like, you're learning every single day. You're up, you know, always doing something differently. You know, like when I first had my debut, I was only working with Ryan maybe two months maybe. So now I have more time working with Ryan. Like, you're going to see a complete different performance, a more, let's say, nastier performance from me. So you will.
Are you finding like you're still having to pinch yourself at, you know, like, I guess, you know, your name's a dream, like you're living a dream with having a unified world champion. Like, are you still sort of nearly at that stage going, I can't believe I'm training with Ryan Burnett? Like, I've spoke to obviously Conor Quinn, obviously trains with you there as well. He was saying it can be quite regimental, you know, it's not just a case of doing pads normally. Like, Ryan obviously brings the mental aspect into it as well. Like, every day is physical learning with Ryan.
Oh, definitely, 100%. You know, there's no easy sessions with Ryan. Let's put it that way. You know, he puts you through it, and I believe that's what you need, especially for this game. Like, this game isn't easy. You know, sometimes you might go away with it in amateurs, but professional boxing, you'll be found out very quick. So Ryan's always mentally testing you. You're always learning, and he's putting you through your paces. So it's definitely it's just great to have Ryan there with me. So it is. And
I know this is obviously going to be your second professional fight, but it effectively is going to feel like a professional debut. A lot more people there, obviously, people that's going to know you. You know, probably the nerves, not for fighting, but obviously the nerves of hearing the atmosphere and everything else like that. Like, this is probably effectively going to be like your debut.
Yeah, 100%. A few people actually said the same thing. You know, obviously when I had my debut in Glasgow, it's almost like a second debut. But I felt my nerves for my first one. I had no nerves, so I feel the same. You know, like, I'm living my dream, as I said before. Like, I've nothing to be nervous about. Like, even the last one, I had no nerves because I'm getting to do what I love, and I've always dreamt about this since a young kid, and here I am, professional boxer. It's just unreal to be living it.
It is one of them. Sometimes you're sort of going, like, you're thinking Ulster Hall. Like, where do you sort of set your dreams to next? Obviously, your debut in Glasgow, your home fight, obviously in Ulster Hall. Do you start to, you want to have probably, I guess, a very busy 2025 on St Andrews. Obviously, boxing obviously is your management as well. So,
yeah.
like, is the focus for you to fight as much at home as possible rather than obviously go over to Scotland?
So basically, how my manager is thinking, Ian Wilson. I have the best of both worlds. I have back here. If there's a show on back here, Ian will try his hardest to get me on, sell a few tickets, and if I'm over in Glasgow, a few of my family members come over and I get to fight over there. So again, like, I have the best side of both worlds, where I have no stress about worrying about fighting. When Ian says, right, you're on 2 months' time, well, I says 100% Ian, I'm good to go.
That's what you want as a fighter, isn't it? Your job's to fight. Everything else is for your team in the background. So, like, if Ryan's dealing with it or Ryan Wilson's dealing with it, that's perfect. You just tell me when I'm fighting, when I need to be there, and I'll do the rest.
Yeah, that's it. Especially it's good to have. Ryan knows the stuff himself. With boxing and stuff. So it's not leaving the stress on me. He's willing to deal with stuff. Obviously, I'm a manager. He's dealing with stuff for me. Like, the stress isn't on me when it comes to boxing. All I have to do is fight and win.
And how is obviously the people out Dungannon obviously taking to obviously now being a pro? Has anything changed for you in some respects?
Yeah, no, it's good. You have a few people that says, "Oh, well done," especially in my debut and stuff like that. But it's good also because in Dungannon there's many different communities, and I'm bringing all the communities together. Well, I've sold tickets to all different communities, and it's great to see you have the backing of the local community as well. And hearing them in the Ulster Hall on the 1st of February is going to be unreal. So it will be. And
like Theo obviously being in Cookstown as well, it's not too far away. So you'll sort of nearly have a crossover of both, where everybody probably comes here in the night. Will be here to support everybody regardless.
Yeah, 100%. Theo's not that far away from me, so probably the few people who bought tickets from him probably knows me too. So, and then people who bought tickets from me probably knows Theo. So both of us will have a bit of extra support from each other. So it's good to see.
And for anybody obviously it's coming on the night, or obviously it's tuning in and sort of haven't seen you before as a fighter, what can people expect from you on the 1st of February?
So, like, for this one, you're going to expect a nasty performance. My first performance, I was more kind of like an amateur style, box, don't get hit, just win. Where this time, I'm working with Ryan, I'm starting to sit down with punches and, just expect a exciting performance from me on the 1st of February.
Definitely. Well, look, obviously enjoy your Christmas, obviously, and we'll see you in Fight Week in Belfast for the 1st of February.
Thank you.
Cheers, Sarge, thank you.